Welcome back, trainers. So I think I've discovered yet some more information about lucky Pokemon. It might be obvious to you, but I'm getting closer to the actual facts of how it's working. So we'll discuss that, and then we're going to take a look at a Porygon raid using Breloom, Machamp, and Blaziken with all fighting moves, of course, to see who can do the most damage without dodging, and then a Alolan Raichu using high attackers without dodging once again to see who can perform the best and last the longest. Now, let's go ahead and get into these lucky Pokemon. I have 22 currently, okay? And I find it extremely hard to find another one. And I have a feeling the cooldown for 1 day is not there. Once you've received up to 20 Pokemon, the chances of you finding another one are going to be extremely rare. Now, when they first dropped, the IVs were broken. So I hope you didn't do too many, and hope that can get all sorted out. This Nidoking does have 15 attack, so it's not a complete loss. As far as this Arbok here, unfortunately the IVs are bad. Niantic flipped a switch, and after that, every lucky Pokemon would have 10 in every IV or above. Okay, after the Skitty, I was good to go. Now, it was going fairly well. I was getting all these luckies, like, yeah, this is awesome. But then once I hit 20, it became extremely rare. Maybe one every 30 or 20 trades, okay? Maybe it was a little bit less, but it's getting kind of ridiculous. The Primate was the last one. I've done multiple trades with all kinds of people, and with no success, no more luckies. So, yeah, once you get up to 20, I highly recommend you be very careful on how many Pokemon you trade for this gambling machine, because you might just keep handing over 2016 Pokemon with sentimental value over and over and over in hopes to get this awesome lucky, but it just keeps not happening because, well, you're up to 20 and your chances are probably maybe 5%, who knows. But I have a feeling it's something ridiculously low. And like I said, I don't think there is a cooldown after 1 day. I think you're actually going to have to wait even longer. If anything, you just might be stuck at a very low percentage to find a lucky Pokemon from now on, basically forever. Alright, so that's going to leave the question as to, okay, well, you've traded up to 20 Pokemon. It's going to be extremely rare to obtain them again. So how are you ever going to fill out your Pokedex for each one? Well, shinies are rare, right? You have a high chance for luckies at first, and then it just diminishes after 20 and becomes extremely rare. Before 20, you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 luckies in a row, and you're thinking to yourself, this is amazing, luckies are not rare at all. But once you hit 20, you're like, holy moly, what is going on? I cannot find any luckies whatsoever. So make sure you pay attention to that. And another factor is this, okay? If you're trading with somebody who's 16, 17, 18 lucky Pokemon already, and you have 2 or 3, I think your chances are going to be much lower to find one because of them having so many already. Because when one person receives one, the other one does as well. So if you're trading with somebody who has a ton of them already, you're better off to probably not. Sorry, I mean, don't go out there and say, hey, Poke told me not to trade with people with a lot of luckies, because I might not get one. This is just me trying to put the dots together here, okay? So keep that in mind. If you have, say, 3, 4, 5, 6 luckies right now, your best bet is to trade with somebody around the same luckies as you or less, because I think your chances are going to be higher. That's what I noticed. The only other conclusion I have is that they were extremely common at first for everybody, no matter what, within that was 2-day period when they're released. And then after that, Niantic flipped the switch and made them become extremely rare, just like they can do with shiny Pokemon during events. They increase the shiny rate. Simple as that. Same with the luckies. They increased it for a day or two, and then after that they decreased it to get everybody hyped and get their luckies, and then naturally made them rare to get, because, well, they should be like that. It's kind of like a promotion at first. Get a little taste. Oh, you like that, huh? Yeah, well, keep trying for it now, because they're extremely rare. And if you get it, you should be even more happy than before. So, there's that, okay? That's just, my thoughts on how all of these lucky Pokemon are working. So, final tips for that. Lucky trade. If you have low luckies, under 10, trade with somebody around that. If you're up to 20 lucky Pokemon, be very careful of handing over all of your 2016s or the remainder of them, because I don't know, you might want to trade with somebody with this is contradicting now, with lower luckies, but you know, experiment, see what happens. Please tell me in the comments below, if you have above 20 lucky Pokemon, how is your luck at this point? Are you able to still get them simply, like quick, no problem? Or do you see the pattern of them becoming extremely rare? Or maybe you have not yet to get one lucky, you've traded a whole bunch and you still haven't found one. And that brings me back to the whole thing about Niantic hitting the switch. If you didn't do lucky trades within the first 24 hours, 35 hours of release, after that, your chances are going to be extremely rare. Just like a community day, you didn't play during that time. And after that, your chances of finding a shiny one are going to be extremely rare. Same way for the lucky Pokemon. So that is my theory. Pretty solid. I think that's what's going on here. Like I said, it's not in stone. This is just my guess. So tell me down below. I need everybody to let me know, or just some people. If you have over 20 Pokemon, how hard is it for you to find them? Because that is the key question at this point. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at these raids. Okay, so into the raids. Now we have something to discuss too about Gen 4 and the current raid. So Breloom, Dynamic Punch and Counter, Machamp, Dynamic Punch and Counter, Blaziken, Counter, and Focus Blast. Now I've taken out a Porygon raid using only one Machamp. No revives, no nothing, just straight up dodging. So just going to attack to give you a good idea on which one you want to use. Basically, it's just going to be Machamp. So let's talk about these raids here. Porygon, Electabuzz, and Magmar. Why? Why those raids? Just there's so many Pokemon that they can put in there. Why are they giving us those? Well, I've discussed this in the past, about 4 videos back, and that's because possibly Gen 4 release. We'll just have to wait and see, but make sure you have some candies for those. Have a good IV one. I have my lucky Magmar, so I'm ready for Magmortar. I would be very nice to have a lucky Electabuzz for Electivire. So we'll just have to wait and see on that, but make sure you are hitting a fairly good amount, or if you already have good IVs, then hey, just wait to see what happens. Alright, so we took him out. Obviously Machamp is the best choice. Now you could also use Hariyama, because that is fantastic as well, but I just threw in those Pokemon. And Hitmonchan coming in again for the sneaky little one-hit win, just like you did in my last video with the gym battles. Medicham ran through them all. He barely fainted on the last Pokemon, and then Hitmonchan came in and literally did nothing. Anyways, on to the Raichu, the Alolan Raichu. So what are you going to want to use? Basically a Groudon first. I didn't want to put Groudon first because I knew, well, it's going to just dominate it. And I wanted you to get a good idea, at least, on how good the Tyranitar and the Gengar are going to perform. So Thunder Punch. Let me give you some tips on that. If you're trying to dodge it and it's kind of seeming broken, well, that is because it is broken. It's very delayed. It's been like this for, I think, like a year or more now. Maybe ever since the games came out. But every time I fight a Pokemon that is in the gym with Thunder Punch, or I'm using it personally, the damage is very, very delayed. So take note of that. It's not just you or your game, it's Pokemon Go. Okay. All right. So Groudon. Other than Groudon, what if you don't have one of those? Well, do you want to use a Rhydon? I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. It's just because it's so slow. Unfortunately, my Rhydon, oh man, it has another evolution. It's only on, technically it's called stage 2, because stage 1 is called basic. It goes basic, stage 1, and then stage 2. But we'll just say Rhydon does have a third evolution, third form, okay? And it's going to be Rhyperior, and I really hope it drops soon. So other than Groudon, you can use Houndoom, Tyranitar, Scizor with bug moves, anything that is dark, ground, or ghost type should be fairly good to go, okay? Don't sit in there with Scizors, a whole bunch of them. I mean, it could work. I've done it before, but the time has ran out. Might have been because it had Volt Switch. Then again, it's really doesn't matter as long as you're dodging. So there you go. Groudon performed very well. And with that said, trainers, thank you for watching. like I said, I'm just going to stick to what I do. All right, we're not going to get too fancy over here. Just going to keep bringing you the news and the gameplay that you want to see. With that said, trainers, thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.